So when it came turn for the State Platoon, we had a bunch of long guns. So we had 8 M40A1s, and then the M40A3 had just been fielded. So we got 8 of those, and we had 2 Sassers, but we had like no night optics.
Do you want to explain to people that may not know what an M40 is?
Yes, the M40 is the designation for the Marine Corps sniper rifle, and then the A1 or A3 is just different versions of it. So the A1 was essentially a Remington 700. The A3 had a different fiberglass stock that was a little bit heavier. It absorbed the recoil a little bit better. And they've gone on, so we're on M40A6 now, as the weapons kind of morphed and changed over the years. So the M40 is the Marine Corps Scout Sniper Rifle weapon system. And then we had the M82 A1, the Barrett 50 cal, or Sasser, for Special Application Scope Rifle. Fortunately, our team was one of the 2 teams with a Sasser. That proved to be huge going into Fallujah on that deployment.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I always wonder how practical that actually is. Like I think people like to use it obviously because it's cool. It's like the 50 cal sniper rifle, but like the practicality of it, is it actually that much better than having an M40A whatever version you're on at the time?
So I mean,
situation dictates, obviously.
Yeah, and I mean, practical as far as like moving it, no. Like moving around with that thing, it's heavy, it's long, it's awkward. So moving around with it was pain.
It's a solid 30 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, about that. Yeah. And then once you're in position though, that's like, it's good and it's bad. Loud as hell. None of us have really learned our lesson about hearing protection from the invasion. So no one's really rolling around with hearing protection. And we were like shoving, brass casings or like cigarette filters in our ears to try and act as hearing protection. Because that Sasser, not only is it loud because it's a 50 caliber rifle, but the muzzle brake is designed to shoot the overpressure backwards towards the shooter and spotter. And that's meant to help kind of counter the felt recoil from the round going off. And so that's just more noise and energy that just gets projected at you, especially if you're the spotter and not the shooter.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting beast to wield. Definitely something that if I had been thinking back then, I would have made sure I had lots of ear pro, which is a lesson I took away from that deployment, and always have spare ear pro. And I've become a real proponent for over-the-ear muffs with the electronic through.
Yeah,
that's pretty key.
I mean, hearing conservation is crazy important, especially you guys are shooting a Sasser. You're not hiding with that thing. You're not in a hide somewhere and people don't know where you're at. I think when that boom goes off, everybody automatically knows where that location is. I'm sure it creates quite the noise and visual signature from shooting up dirt and stuff like that. Did you guys find that to be an issue at all, like trying to be in a solid hide with that gun?
Yes and no. So that's definitely a major concern with any of the rifles. If you're going to be setting up low to the ground, things you can do to mitigate it. So like when I got to the platoon, we did our first Sasser shoot and we carried out all these water jugs so that in between like certain courses of fire was just dumping water on the ground in front of the gun so it wouldn't kick up as much dust because it would all be wet. I mean, we weren't going to do that in hide sites. That was kind of a range thing.
Yeah, rangism.
So, when it came to setting up in buildings, the idea was to, be backed off away from the windows, which is a normal TTP anyways. And then even the Iraqis figured out, which was kind of frustrating. Be back away from the window, shoot from depth, and that will help mitigate a lot of that visual signature that any gun will create, but especially the Sasser.
Yeah, that thing's a beast, man. How many rounds out of that can you shoot out of that before it starts to become uncomfortable to shoot?
So the recoil is actually not that bad. I would think it's not even as much as like a 12 gauge shotgun.
Oh wow, really?
Just because the way that it's designed, the way the muzzle brake helps redirect some of that overpressure coming out of the muzzle, and the barrel itself is meant to kind of reciprocate as it fires. It has a buffer spring, similar to like an AR style weapon. So it's mitigated pretty well.
That's awesome.
So it's really not like uncomfortable. After like a long range day, you definitely kind of feel it in your shoulders. Like if you did like a, out in the trap range or skeet range all day long, you kind of feel it in your shoulder a bit. But it's not terrible. It's really just the acoustics that'll get to you.
Yeah, that's what I figured, that overpressure. So which of the sniper systems did you guys utilize more while you were on that second deployment? The Sasser or like the M40?
For our team, it was the Sasser.
Okay. Can you talk about any of the engagements you went through?
So, yeah, I mean, we did our initial patrols, and it was frustrating. We didn't have a lot of guidance and real direction of what to do. And then the Blackwater contractor incident happened on that bridge.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we're going in." Like, they want to buy that ticket. We're going to give them the ride. So we're going into Fallujah, and we get assigned to Alpha Company. My team, Seminole.